Libra.
Hello Pisces, this is your forecast for April 2014, and we have quite the intense month here for you and for everybody this month. We have a lot of those challenges that we saw late last autumn. We saw them there around New Year's Eve coming back into play here, but even more so I feel dynamic because it's starting off very top of the month and it's going to be signaling here throughout the first 14 days. So you're going to feel how things are going to start bubbling up to the surface, and with anticipation, with excitement, and also with the feeling of, okay, now what? Okay, and then from the 20th, well, that is when things are really going to take off here. So let's get prepared for what it is. Now, basically, your sun is now in the second house for money and income, so you're going to see there's going to be more focus on your income streams, how you make your money. Maybe new things are coming in. And already on the 1st, I'm seeing that there's some news coming in where you're going to be looking at the larger picture. That's Jupiter there. But then on April 2nd, the sun is going to be conjuncting here, doing the dance with Uranus. So something unexpected, but it should be a good surprise, good news coming in here. That's touching upon not just your value base, because second house is not just money, it's how you feel about yourself and where you're at, your self-esteem and so forth, but this unexpectedness coming in is going to leave you feeling really great here on the 3rd, when Mercury is going to be communicating with Saturn. Now Saturn is up in your 9th house, which has to do with how you're reaching for higher levels. 9th house is all about your philosophy, outlook on life, but also groups, people, places out there in foreign places, countries, people and languages too. So something is starting to take on a formation here, and this Mercury, which is communication, how you communicate and what it is you're communicating, it's coming from your core. It's in the 1st house. The 1st house is you, your essence, your personality, the way you're presenting it out to the world. It's the rising sign, right? So when you're having this trine up here to the 9th house, you might just get contacted by somebody, perhaps in a faraway place that wants to set something up with you. In that case, it would be great. Now, the 9th house is also all about learning, but also teaching. Saturn being there, that's your know-how. It's your skills, your talents, what you're trying to master right now. And so maybe you're going to be teaching and communicating here, or maybe even getting an offer perhaps to communicate and teach maybe on a grander level, 9th house level, which is excellent. It might bring a little challenge to you because the sun is squared by Pluto, and you might just feel, oh my goodness, am I up for this? Do I want this? And this offer, I see it as an opportunity or an offer, might already have come there on April 1st from Jupiter, because Jupiter expands everything it touches, and now it's wanting to expand, break you out of your limitations to the sun. And Jupiter here is the 5th house for creativity, self-expression. It's also love and romance and so forth, but also projects, creative projects. So Jupiter here is presenting to you a possibility where you can make money from your creativity, because the sun is in the 2nd house, Jupiter in the 5th house. So, and it may be so unexpected what's coming in behind on the 2nd. And then the 3rd, it's like, you know what, just go with it. If you're not quite sure how to deal with it, or to give a response and answer, reply, then don't jump quite yet, because there's more information coming in. Hold it a little bit, because see here on the 5th, Venus has been in the 12th house in March, where you've been hanging a little loose, laid a little bit more back. 12th house is about recharging your battery, and March was good for having Venus in this area because it's the house of Pisces, and and Pisces is very creative in itself. It's a Neptunian house, and having Venus there, well then that too becomes very creative and artsy and so forth. So it looks like March, you were working behind the scenes with some thoughts, okay? Now, as you come in here April 5th, it's going to move into your sign. It's going to love to be in your sign because, once again, Venus is the lower octave of Neptune, which is your ruling planet, and the two of them, they become very artistic in their expression. They also become very romantic, so this could become a very romantic month for you after April 5th. So pay attention to that, and especially when Venus and Neptune are going to be conjunct, which is April 12th. That is the most romantic day or evening of the month. The two of them, they are in a blessed area. So those of you single, well, you can find somebody new, perhaps, or it could also just be the relationship you're in that can really have this union of lifting, rising, merging, becoming one, right? And if we're taking this to the second level, looking at the creative aspects coming in here with Jupiter, well, you know, you can grow wings this month, Pisces. I think it's going to be excellent. Then we have April 7th, Mercury, okay, moving out of your sign, where it's been in the first house. So you've been thinking a whole lot, communicating a whole lot. I think March was a very busy month for you when it comes to communication. But now, see, moving into Aries is your second house of income. So Mercury's going to be thinking new ways of income streams. Mercury will be joining the Sun and Uranus in this house. So yes, a lot of focus here on money, those things we value, which is also self-worth. That will be picking up for you. And then on the 8th here, we're looking at you and Mars retrograde, of course, right now. But we're still looking at money. Why? Because this opposition is you looking at your income, but how Mars can actually shore up something for you. The 8th house has to do with money you have jointly with somebody else, okay? It could be your partner and so forth. Or if you're having any joint ventures, this will come up for you. It could be financial institutions, perhaps investments and so forth. So you'll have to see what that does. But that is April 8th, and I think it's really going to mark up something that's coming a little bit later in the month when Mars is really going to get active there with Pluto and Uranus too. So be good about the way you're looking objectively at the way your finances are working right now. So then we have the week of the 14th through to the 20th. Now this is the week that you really want to pay attention to. Because you're going to be thinking a lot. You're going to feel like you're having to make some decisions, maybe on what you heard early in the month, but Mercury right now is going to be squaring off on Jupiter, which is your 5th house. So you're kind of thinking here between projects, money, income, creativity, love and romance. It could be something with your children too, here on the 14th. And then also Mercury will at the same time be giving you an unexpected insight. Could be a surprise, could be communication, something coming. And this is in your income house on the 14th. And then just the day after, Mercury also is going to be squaring off on Pluto, which is the 11th house. So what are we talking about? What is happening here these very first days? Well, it's all happening at once. Mars is also going to be opposing Mercury on the 16th. So let's talk about the 14th to 16th. Which houses, which areas of life, if we get down to the base here, what does this mean practically for you? Practically, it means your financial situation, the money that you earn, your income streams are going to be smack in the focus. You're going to have to think. There's unexpected twists and turns coming in. This is coming also from the 8th house, which has to do with taxes, joint resources, joint ventures, commissions, and royalties. Now, here we have this financial aspect. What is coming across on the other side of it is Jupiter and Pluto, which is creativity, self-expression. It's also what you're wanting to do or trying to do and would like to do as far as projects, and it has to do with groups, people, organizations, and so forth. Now, this can be a very creative period for you, but right now it's mental, it's Mercury, it's just thinking. How do I do this? How do I want to tweak it? Maybe you've already had a lot of this going on here throughout autumn and late winter. But it may not still be time quite yet to make your decisions, but you're definitely being contacted, and you're definitely feeling that there's something pressurizing, as if you're having to make a choice. Not quite yet. Wait, just wait, because on the 18th, if you're feeling a little insecure because everything's happening at once, the 18th will give you some insight, some security, some validation that things are going to be okay in these areas. Why? This is because Venus now here in your sign. So that's shoring up you from the first house. Venus is going to have a talk with Jupiter, and Jupiter, which is abundance, you know, it's all that gracefulness that we can have, and the generosity, and Jupiter's moving direct right now. Well, Jupiter's going to say here, don't worry about anything because we're good. You know, the money is good. There's hope here being restored, not only with Jupiter, and Jupiter never does anything small. You know, it's the biggest planet we got out there. So if Venus is money and Jupiter is, you know, large, think about here also, because Venus is going to be sextiling Pluto, and if Jupiter is big, well, Pluto's mega. We're talking big money that can come in, but this has to do with groups, okay? Jupiter has to do with your creativity, your plans, your concepts that you're wanting to create, and your projects. That's your personal, but then it's also coming in from a group mind here, or within the circles of friends, which the 11th house is, which also correlates to your hopes, dreams, wishes. So you see here, Pisces, this is not just something out of the blue that you don't know about. You know very well what we're talking about because you've been working on this, you know, for a long time. We could go way back beyond 2013, but last year a lot of this was coming into being. It's slowed down here, wintertime, but here we go. Jupiter is moving forward again now, and it's bringing everything in. These other planets here from the 20th, this is why you want to feel secure on the 18th. That will leave you feeling that much more grounded when the Jupiter is squaring off with Uranus on the 20th. At the same time, Jupiter is opposing Pluto. And these two are going to liberate, set free. It's like breaking the chains off that's been holding you in place with your patience, your hope, your faith. So it's liberating. Sure, it's shocking. Uranus can shock, right? But it's a good thing. You know, it's like really breaking through. So I'm so excited to see that actually we can start looking at the materialization of Pluto now, starting off your new life, okay? That's the rebirth of Pluto, making everything new. And Uranus is going like this to Pluto. I mean, it is just flinging open a lot of energy here, squaring off on Pluto. And it's like when something has been under oppression, you know, and control for a long time. And what is that oppression? What is that control? Well, that can be different for any of you. Sure, it could come from a group, or it could come from the universe itself holding you back time-wise. You know, when you've been ready to expand, you've been ready to create, but if time isn't right, well then this pressure, this lid has been on the pressure cooker for so long, but here we go, the lid is off. And so it's time to celebrate it. But sure, we're going to have to take a leap of faith and trust it because it's happening so quickly. Mars, see, your goals, your drive, your ambitions, your energy levels, well, that here is squaring with Jupiter. So even Jupiter is saying to Mars, it's like, hey, you know, this is the route that we're going to take right now. And Mars is opposing Uranus, and so Uranus is saying, you know, I'm just going to cut this chain here and release this pressure. And then Mars is squaring off with Pluto, doing the same thing. That's a lot. That is very much so, probably the most intense week of this year. But we want to take this as a positive because it sets us free. And your areas, once again, just to go back over it, which areas in your life are you going to feel this the most? Well, it's between your income and the income of your partner or group, okay? It's money you have with other people, commissions, royalties, and yourself. That's there. Then we have it through your creative house and Pluto. So that is also being tested, put to the trial. So these things now are gonna all just, go in each their direction until it snaps, and then it's done, and then we're gonna start moving forward. Jupiter is gonna pick up more speed. It's gonna move out of this area so that now you have a free flow to really start creating what it is you have in your own self-expression, in your own creative projects. It's also the area of children, so this is a happy time now. So I'm really excited to see what May is going to bring and just see what other planets now may be infusing Jupiter, your hope and your expansion, the drive that we have to open up this area. And then of course Mars is retrograde, has been from March 1st and will be to May 20th. So you might feel that Mars isn't really overly aggressive right now, but you don't really need it because everything else is in the mix. And, if this was a new situation, Mars, we might have wanted Mars a little stronger, but this is not a new situation. It's something you've been working on for a long, long time. So you know what's coming. You just don't know the outcome quite yet, right? So we don't really need to have a forward motion. And besides, it being retrograde is also just reflecting it's not a new situation or a new goal. This is retrograding. It's bringing back an old situation. So you've already done the work in the past when Mars was direct. Now it's just bringing back the situation so you can finalize it through the action of the other planets coming in, interplaying with it. So at the end, from the 14th to the 23rd, it's like, oh my goodness. But then at the end of the month, we have a beautiful, beautiful new moon in your area of communication, short distance travel, also some news here coming in from siblings perhaps. It's a third house. So this is a time to plant some, new moon intentions. I'm wanting to spend more time here looking at communication, how you do that, and perhaps also traveling. The full moon here is going to be April 15th in your 9th house here, Scorpio. And this is also going to be putting, just as things are turning here on the 14th, right? You're getting the full moon on top of this. And so that's going to put on the map how you are expanding outwardly to groups at large, not just here in the city, but states and out of country. 9th house rules foreign places, people, and so forth. But it's also how you're growing, expanding, going deeper into the material that you're wanting to learn about. But it's also you mastering these areas, and growing. And maybe you're the one ending up teaching, giving of your knowledge, talent, skills, and know-how, and bringing that out. So you will see that this is going to be big for you with whatever is taking place around April 15th. And it's really correlating really, really well here also towards Pluto in the 11th house, which has to do with social media, groups, hopes, wishes, dreams, your friendship circles. So here mid-month, this might be something really awesome coming to you, Pisces. So listen, I'm so excited for you here in April. I know it's like, I'd like to say hold your breath, but actually do the opposite, to breathe, breathe yourself as you're transforming. This is a rebirthing month. So if you haven't subscribed, do that now so you can get your forecast for May, which should prove very exciting, based on what takes place here this month. We will see there in May. And do perhaps even, just as a little advice, come back here in April. If you're listening to this in March, come back in April around mid-month, just so you can get the dates for when things are really hitting here on the second half of April, so you're back up to shore. So have a wonderful month, Pisces. Always good talking to you, and see you next month. Go listen to your moon and your rising sign. Bye now.
Do you follow Karen's daily scopes yet? If not, and wonder what they hold, click the sample link below and listen to both the Astro Scope and Tarot Scope, and get a feel for what you can expect in your love, career, and financial outlook for today.